Ready for the second semifinal here in the NIT. We're in beautiful Frisco, Texas. Amazing host to us all weekend inside the Comerica Center. Let's take a look at the bracket. Earlier, Memphis, a dominating performance over the #1 overall seed Colorado State, winning 90-67. So Memphis advances to the finals. That's tomorrow, Sunday at noon right here on ESPN. The question is, who's going to play them? Mississippi State or Louisiana Tech? It should be a good one here in our second semifinal. Now, we can tell you how both teams got here, but let's hear from both coaches, Eric Conkle and Ben Howland, in their own words, how they got here.
He's all about competing and trying to do whatever he can to help the team. You know, he made some big plays. He got the steal and the dunk there down the stretch. Caleb Ledoux had a monster night from the perimeter. Kobe Williams is out here playing with a broken hand. They're giving me a heck of a ride, and we just want to keep it going.
The whole time when DJ had the ball coming, I said, shoot the tree, shoot the tree, shoot the tree. I was just yelling at the top of my lungs. I hope he didn't hear me, shoot the tree. You know? But we don't need to tie, we need to win. And got it, he come through.
John Schriffen alongside Fran Fraschilla. Chris Budden will join us momentarily. Now, Fran, that was an incredible ending for Mississippi State. DJ Stewart, that was probably the biggest shot he has hit in his young career. For the Bulldogs, they've got a pair of outstanding young guards.
Pair of aces, to me, average about 32 points between them, only sophomores. And this tournament has been filled with young players. The Bulldogs, by the way, there's a lot of Bulldogs here tonight, John. They have a great backcourt, but the secret weapon for Louisiana Tech, their Bulldogs, well, this guy's not really a Bulldog. He's been described as a monster. How about that?
And big praise from a coach earlier. Penny Hardaway caught up with our own Chris Budden about Kenneth Lofton Jr.
You saw Lofton walk out there for warm-ups. A chance you might play him tomorrow. Called him a monster. What do you think of this style of play?
Man, to be a freshman, it's hard to believe that kid is a freshman.
Yeah.
He is a matchup problem, and he can play. And I have a lot of respect for his game. So if they could beat a good Mississippi State team and make it to the championship, we'll have our hands full either way, but he's a monster.
High praise from Penny Hardaway, a Hall of Famer. So, Fran.
Well, my opinion doesn't matter.
Oh, of course, we love your opinion.
I call him a monster, but it's Penny Hardaway that called him a monster. That means,
hey, he's got his own shoe. You know, when you get your own shoe, it means a lot.
Fair enough.
Our officials tonight, Tommy Morrissey, Jerry Heater, John Floyd, getting ready to tip this one. Louisiana Tech coming out in the home white. And the Bulldogs of Louisiana Tech won the tip. And we'll have the ball first.
Well, they're Bulldogs, but I described them last night as junkyard dogs. They got a bunch of guys that just get after you on both ends.
Crawford with the runner in the lane, off the mark. Abdul Adu rips down the board. Let's get your starting five for Mississippi State. Molinar and Stewart, we talked about those guards in the open. Then Matthews is getting the start. It's Fountain and Adu. Tolu Smith is not going to play in this game tonight as Molinar knocks down the three. Now for Tolu Smith, official word from the school is that he is unavailable to play today. It's not due to discipline, not due to a violation of any team rules. He didn't opt out, but officially he is unavailable to play tonight.
And he is as good an offensive player in the low post as there is in the SEC, talking to a couple coaches there. So he's going to be missed.
Pemberton from downtown, that's off the mark.
But I think what it does, John, going with Cameron Matthews, the freshman, Ben Howland has been playing big bully ball all year. He's going to play small with these guys. More perimeter offense. You see DJ Stewart getting started.
Your five starters for Louisiana Tech: Archibald Ledoux, who had the hot hand on Thursday night; Pemberton, Lofton Jr., the freshman sensation, and Isaiah Crawford.
And don't forget the one-arm bandit who'll come off the bench, Kobe Williams, the longtime starter. This is not the start Eric Conkle wanted.
How about Mississippi State? The Bulldogs are hungry to get into the championship game. An 8-0 start to this one.
Well, they let the dogs out quickly. Remember that? Who let the dogs out? Oof, oof, oof.
coming off of the game winner Thursday night. He continues the hot shooting. Mississippi State, a perfect 3 of 3 to start this game.
Well, and the other basket by Molinar is why this backcourt, Ben Howland's so excited, both sophomores.
Lofton going up against Adu. Spin move, that's poked out of bounds. Tried to give a little shimmy shake, but Abdul Adu having none of that.
Let me tell you something. This guy is 5 years in Starkville. Take a look. But watch him defend right here. Now, he's guarded everybody you could guard in the SEC over 5 years. So, yeah, the big fella's a monster, but Adu's having none of it.
There they go again. Lofton will take a jump shot. He'll settle for that. That's great defense by Mississippi State.
Watch Molinar. He can get to the basket. What I love about these two guards, Stewart and Molinar, is they really do score at 3 levels. They can get to the rim, they can shoot threes, and they're good in that mid-range pull-up game.
Shot clock is at 8. Stewart from downtown. Who is this kid? Woo! When you hit a shot like that to win the game, what does that do for your confidence?
Well, honestly, John, he's been doing it all year. 32 against Dayton early. This kid can play.
That gives you a shot of adrenaline. That means you can't go to sleep until 3 a.m. after that shot the other night. So if you thought he was going to be a little tired from staying up so late, he's coming off hot today.
Lofton with the steal, and now Pemberton with the run out. Louisiana Tech.
Oh, man. That wasn't just a steal. That was like a energy boost. And he was excited about throwing that pass ahead.
11-5, Mississippi State up early on. Stewart picked up his dribble. He is going to be a matchup problem all night.
Now these Bulldogs are feisty on Louisiana Tech, but if he keeps doing that, wow!
What a start by DJ Stewart.
He's going to be a matchup problem all night. No, it's fun, man. These guys are hooping. It's late March.
Off the mark is Pemberton.
Good job by Matthews to slow that up. A freshman getting his opportunity with Tolu Smith out.
Stewart's got 11 points. He's a perfect 4 of 4 from the field. Here he is with the ball in his hands.
No way.
Again!
No way.
What a start for Stewart.
Well, you got to find somebody. Eric Kunkel is going to go to the bench. Find somebody that can guard him. At this point, you got to make him a driver.
And there's Lofton to lay it in. 3 white jerseys jumped up off the bench, getting ready to check in for Louisiana Tech.
You got to pick up Stewart earlier now. Get up on him and make him drive it. Do not let him keep feeling this.
I mean, you better pick him up as soon as he crosses half court.
And there's a lot of truth to that.
Molinar gobbled up inside. Keeps his dribble alive. 5 on the shot clock for Fountain. Adu with the jumper. Rebound to Ledoux.
I think Louisiana Tech's going to settle in here soon.
Now, he had the hot hand Thursday night for Louisiana Tech, Caleb Ledoux.
Monster performance, 20 points.
Let's see how they can weather this early storm by Mississippi State. Crossover by Stewart into the lane, scooped up, no good. That's his first miss today. And a block is called on Mississippi State.
How about DJ Stewart, John? Young man from Grace, Mississippi, little bitty town on the western part of the state, but they taught him how to shoot the 3 ball because he is on fire. That's 2, that's 3. Give me one more. We'll take it. What a start for DJ Stewart Jr.
Our second semifinal here in the NIT. Mississippi State, great start, up 17-7. John Schriffen, Fran Fraschilla, Chris Budden. How does Louisiana Tech get in this game? Because it seems like it is all Mississippi State early on.
Logically, keep DJ Stewart from getting open threes, or make sure you contest them. I'm not worried about them. I think they're gonna battle back nicely. They have too much grit and toughness, and they got Kobe Williams in the lineup right now. And yes, folks, he's got a broken left finger, but he's been the heart and soul of this team. You know, against North Texas, I went back and watched. He only played 3 minutes in Conference USA. They did force him to his left hand, and that's why he only played 3 minutes. This guy can get it going.
Well, it's taken some work to try and figure out his shot. You know, when he broke it, he thought, my season's over, I'm going to have surgery. And then he started messing around. He was like, hey, I can still shoot a little bit. Took some convincing to coach, though. He went a couple times. Coach was like, I don't know about that. They worked on how to wrap it. He spent hours in the gym, and eventually he persuasion to get back out there and spend some time on the court.
Yeah, makes sense, Chris. And he is a tough kid out of Dallas Kimball, right, not far from here, 25 miles or so. And Coach Kunkel swears he's the engine of this team.
I got to tell you, Fran, on Thursday, he went to his left. The first shot of the game he put up with a left-handed layup.
Yeah.
And I almost cringed, but this kid, I mean, he's just got no pain right now. He's just going out there.
Now, I want to play devil's advocate as a coach of the other team. I would not let him go right. I would guard his right hand the entire night because look at his bandage.
Right.
But he's a tough kid, man. And his whole team is, as we said, they play with great ferocity.
First turnover of the ball game for Louisiana Tech. That's a nice drive. Molinar with the finish.
Well, I called those guys a pair of aces, and Molinar does have a little bit of a guy that Ben Howland coached at UCLA, Russell Westbrook, in his game. He does.
Gordon, another big guy off the bench for Louisiana Tech, missed a bunny in close.
That's why it's an exciting time for Mississippi State in this tournament, because they've got those two sophomores who are going to be a handful.
Javian Davis, and a block is called.
Ben Howland calls this kid a baby Russell Westbrook. Take a look right here to the rim. The young man from Panama, and he played for Russell Westbrook's AAU team. But I love the fact that we're calling him Russell Westbrook, and his first name is Iverson.
Well, we know how athletic he is, but they actually helped him fix his jump shot. This past summer, he really reconstructed his entire form. And Coach Ben Howland told us he had kind of like side spin coming off his shot, and he took away the guide hand.
He shot with two hands, which is a no-no. You want to be a one-handed shooter with the guide hand to just stay in place. Good execution, good start for Mississippi State.
So Gordon went to the bench for Louisiana Tech with his second foul, and Mississippi State goes right inside. Caleb Ledoux, step back three. He was hitting those on Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
Lofton, trapped in the corner, kick out. Wow.
That's a hand and a half right there.
Kobe Williams,
he made
the one-handed assassin.
Yeah, he made two big ones the other night down the stretch. To Chris's point, he's getting more comfortable playing with a hand and a half.
There's a deep three. Air ball by Davis.
Let's take a look right here. Nice little bounce pass, slip to the basket, pick and roll. Nicely done. Execution.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the NIT is brought to you by Disney Plus and the Mighty Ducks Game Changers. Original series now streaming only on Disney Plus. Speaking of the Mighty Ducks, I mean, it's raining threes in here, but this is also used as a hockey arena. I saw the little kids warming up. There's a practice arena next door.
Yeah, the Dallas Stars practice up here in that practice facility. Use this for minor league hockey. Also the home of the Texas Legends. In a non-pandemic year, the Dallas Mavericks G League team would be up here. Of course, they just completed the bubble in Orlando.
beautiful facility here at the Comerica Center in Frisco, Texas. Trying to get it into Lofton, but Adu, he has just been denying everything.
Well, if you think about it, look at this right here. Look at that move. Oh, he had it. If you think about it, Adu has guarded essentially every big man in the SEC for 5 years. Another steal.
Molinar keeps it. Pull-up jumper off the mark, but Davon Smith is fouled.
Well, you know, since Junior was taken out of the game, he didn't finish that last basket, but he's come back with renewed vigor in terms of intensity.
You see, they're talking on the line. I wish I could hear it. I mean, this is
big guys are like linemen in football. Like they do the dirty work, so they all respect each other.
For more information, go to ncaa.com, your official online home for all 90 NCAA championships.
Hey, and congrats to Conference USA, to the NCAA. I know they had a hiccup down in San Antonio with the women's weight room down there, but last weekend I was in Indianapolis to watch some basketball, and in what has been a unique year in the history of our country, we've got March basketball, and right now we're heading towards April basketball, hopefully.
Trying to get inside to their guy Lofton, poked away once again by Adu.
They were a good post-feeding team, and that time Adu steals it.
I think they called a foul there.
Yeah. I went back and watched the tape of this game the other night, and Eric Kunkel's team does a really good job of putting the ball usually away from the defense. Now, Adu's been active tonight, but he did pick up that foul. But I like the way they look for Junior inside.
First personal foul on Abdul Adu.
That's a lost art. There you go, another one. Yes.
Lofton on track with that hook shot.
That is a lost art, feeding the post. When you feed it from the top, there's no angle to throw it to. You basically have to hit Junior in the 2, his number. And you got to make sure, he's got to make sure the defender is behind him so he disappears. Really well done from the top.
Fountain with the crossover into the lane with the left, a pretty finish.
Well, we talked about the post feeding by Louisiana Tech. Let's watch this. Big fella, he's going to work inside, and he's going to make his man disappear. Look at the seal. And in that case, from the top, throw it right to the middle of Junior's body, and that's exactly what he did. That's great, man. Look at that. They're still talking.
Fountain goes to the line to try to complete the three-point play. 10-point lead for Mississippi State as we approach 10 minutes to play here in this first half. Battle inside, Lofton can't corral it. That one might have been knocked off of him. They might want to look at this again.
Well, they won't be able to at this point during the game. But what I do like is Junior Lofton came out of that timeout when they took him out and was a little frustrated. Last few minutes, he's been excellent. His energy's been excellent. Look at that. They're still working in there.
They are battling inside. Pemberton in the
and they're looking
top
for
of the key.
Look at the angles they're looking for. Throw it away from the defense. Now cut.
3-ball from the outside is Archibald.
Oh boy.
And Adu cannot corral it as he was fighting with his teammate Smith for the rebound.
Let's watch Junior Lofton work in the post. Seal, throw away from the defense. That's it with a nice read hand. Now, go play. Good kick out.
Pemberton slashes and finishes.
This game is only starting, John, because DJ Stewart got this Mississippi State team on the board quickly with those threes, but this is a very feisty Louisiana Tech team.
So away from the ball, they're going to call Jacoby Pemberton with a foul inside. That's the 5th team foul on Louisiana Tech.
You want to know how tough Jacoby Pemberton is? Tore his ACL his senior year during the high school playoffs in Texas, and he kept playing through a torn ACL.
Adu tried to go back at Lofton. Jumper. What a tough shot by Fountain as he's knocked to the floor.
The young man's a late bloomer, Derek Fountain. Hardly saw the floor the first 75% of the season. And they've grown in terms of having confidence in the freshman.
The lead remains at 10. Lofton, spin move. And he is going to be fouled. There are so many guys around him when he touches the ball.
Watch out. Watch how quick he moves now. Look at this. Let's go. All 5 are pretty much in the lane.
I mean, Mississippi State, they did their homework.
Yeah,
They've got the scouting report.
They did, yeah. Young man from Port Arthur, Texas. Memorial High School, John. It's a place that consolidated all their high schools. I mean, they put out guys like, remember Steven Jackson in the NBA? Jimmy Johnson, Hall of Fame football coach. Joe Washington, one time one of the great running backs in Oklahoma history. That is a sports town, Port Arthur, about 4 hours from Ruston.
Lofton makes 1 of 2 from the line. He's got 5 points.
A little bit of pressure now. They like to press on misses and made free throws. Most coaches will not press on a missed free throw. Eric Conkle will.
Louisiana Tech comes up with a turnover off that press. Ledoux on the breakout, and they can't connect.
I'll tell you, I'm okay with that if I'm Eric Conkle. He's clapping because Junior was looking down the floor. He didn't connect, and he knows it's his fault, but that's one of those errors of a commission that as a coach, I'd say, hey, that's okay, big guy. He is active. And a great steal by Crawford.
Mississippi State with no problems handling that pressure that time.
Well, Ledoux's guarding Stewart right now.
7 on the shot clock. Stewart, jumper.
Yeah.
He looks so good.
Remember what I said, 3-level scorer? He's hit the threes. We know he can go to the basket. That's you have to have, forget analytics. When they chase you off the line, you must be proficient in the mid-range. Forget the fact that people think the mid-range game is dead. That is a perfect example right there of mixing up your offensive skills.
Pemberton around the horn to Ledoux. Strong rebound by Fountain.
Great challenge by Stewart. Iverson.
Rejected by Lofton Jr. 1-on-1 breakout. Ledoux and 1. Louisiana Tech trying to get back into this ball game after the hot start by Mississippi State. Look at some of the NIT first. The first NIT was held in 1938. The first champion was Temple. They defeated Colorado. First 2 teams to play in both the NCAA and the NIT. How about the first team to win both? City College.
Yep.
First black players named MVP, Ed Warner and Walter Dukes. And the first interruption in NIT came last year, and now we're in Frisco, Texas, the first time this NIT not being held at Madison Square Garden.
And my first remembrance of the NIT, I got on a subway train when I was 14, took it from Brooklyn to Manhattan. I watched Maryland, Lefty Drizel's team, win you ready for this? The 1972 NIT. Tom McMillan, Lenny Elmore. That was the beginning of when Lefty Drizel called Maryland the UCLA of the East.
It's Louisiana Tech down by 8 with 7.5 to play here in this first half.
Good pressure by Louisiana Tech.
DJ Stewart, he has been the man. 16 points, 4 of 4 from downtown. Being guarded by Kobe Williams. And there's a kickball. The NCAA Men's Basketball Championship Sweet 16 continues today on CBS and TBS, or you can stream games on the March Madness Live app from anywhere. For more information on game times and networks, go to ncaa.com. Jumper is good. Nice play on the inbound for Mississippi State. Pushed that lead back to 10.
Yeah, Derek Fountain once again. Young guy that keeps growing up before our eyes.
Ledoux with the quick trigger, excuse me. Ledoux is now 0 of 3 from downtown. Molinar, that one ripped away, and a turnover caused by Kenny Lofton Jr.
John, I'm going to tell you something. That's the 4th time today Junior Lofton just reached in with those claws and knocked it away. Watch, this is not an aberration. That has been happening continuously today. We've seen his quick feet over the course of this NIT tournament, but he hasn't really gotten it going offensively yet, but you can see why he's a handful.
Archibald coming off the screen, off the mark.
I didn't like that shot.
Batted out of bounds. Looked like it was off Matthews. They're going to talk about this one because it could have been off Mississippi State.
Let's
call
see.
on the court. Yep, and they correct it. Great job by this officiating crew.
Let's take a peek. And again, it's not reviewable. And it looks like Matthews' follow-through knocks it out. Matthews out of Olive Branch, Mississippi, high school teammate of DJ Jeffries, who, if this Bulldog team wins, he'll match up with tomorrow, the Memphis Tigers.
Tommy Morrissey, Jerry Heater, John Floyd. Love how they got together to get the call right. Lofton, that one is in and out. They are battling it inside. Mississippi State gets the rebound.
Well, I'll tell you, Adu's doing a great job of making Junior Lofton shoot over his length. Those are baskets in Conference USA, but again, Abdul Adu has been around for 5 years now and has become a solid low post defender. You're seeing it in action.
They're looking for DJ Stewart. 7 on the shot clock, pull up, jumper. Adu over the back, gets the board. Puts up against 2 bodies, in.
Well, they're without Tolu Smith today, so it's a smaller, sleeker version of this Mississippi State team. But Adu getting it done on both ends. Playing his final couple basketball games of what's been a solid career after immigrating from the continent of Africa.
12-point lead for Mississippi State. Lofton loses it, turnover. But Louisiana Tech gets it right back.
Louisiana Tech need a little run. They don't need to get this 12-point lead back all one time. Watch out.
Lofton with the right, and they do call the foul. I believe that's going to be against Adu. Yep.
Well, Adu, quite the story as you guys were talking about his journey to get to Mississippi State and graduating. He didn't pick up a basketball until he was 14 years old, and it's the craziest story. He was in PE class, and some older kids saw his size, and they said, hey, why don't you come play with us? He told me, I didn't know the rules. I didn't know anything. I didn't even have shoes on. He goes, I played in socks. Played against these older kids. They taught me how to play, and I loved it. Since then, it's brought him here to America, where he just recently graduated from Mississippi State, the first one in his family to graduate. He said, basketball, what it's given me, it's changed my life. And not just basketball, but because what I can do for my family. His father died at a young age. In order to come here, he hasn't seen his family since 2019, but he told his mom, he goes, after this season's over, I promise I'm gonna make it home and be able to see you.
It's really cool, Chris. He's part of the first recruiting class Ben Howland brought to Starkville, and the big guy said he grew up in Starkville, which is kind of cool, you know. November 2015 is when he signed his letter of intent. Seems like ages ago.
Stacey Thomas will come into the game as Kenneth Lofton Jr. gets a breather. Pressure by Louisiana Tech, trap in the corner. Smith, jumper. Rebound to Christian.
Louisiana Tech needs about they need a run here. Just get this back to 6 or 7.
And the lane just opened up for Jacoby Pemberton.
Well, that was an inadvertent contact right there. I hope you don't. They may look at this, but I don't think you had much there. On the basket by Pemberton, take a look right here. He turns. They may go review this, but I don't think they're going to have much. Here's the basket by Pemberton. He's going to turn around, not knowing who's that, Cameron Matthews? right there.
Oh,
did he go forward with that?
No. Matthews took a shot to the jaw.
They'll review it. Let's get another angle on this. Pemberton didn't know Matthews was there, but if he follows through with that left hand, that's tricky.
That's tough because he didn't see him there. That's a tough one.
See, now here's what I think. I think you got to call that a flagrant one because of the contact up high, and I honestly think this was inadvertent, but because he made solid contact and followed through, I'd call this nothing.
Okay, we're going to have to slow this down to really get a good look at this.
I don't like this. I don't like slow replays because this is not what happens in real time. See what I mean? Like, to me,
dead ball contact technical on 11 white.
Yeah,
play was dead after the ball went through.
Okay, so you got the dead ball contact technical, which is the same as a flagrant one, except the ball was dead when it went through the net. So I don't agree with this. It happened so quickly and inadvertently, but I understand why the officials called this. If I were Eric Kunkel right now, I'd be arguing my point. It was a reaction to a guy being up in his face. But watch real speed now.
But he took a shot to the jaw. I mean, you kind of have to call that.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree, and I think they got it right. I'm just telling you, like, there's no malicious intent to do that on purpose.
Yeah, I don't think anyone thought there was an intent.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
when Matthews gets hit upstairs like that.
Yeah. He's explaining it now to Pemberton at midcourt. And Pemberton understands. See? It's one of those plays that happens, and you know. Let's watch again. And once he goes up top, John, I have no problem with the call. And for fans at home, a dead ball contact technical is the same as a flagrant one, but when the ball goes through the net before it's put in play, technically by rule, the ball is dead. So that's why you have the difference.
All right, so we got that all sorted out. It'll be Mississippi State ball up by 10 with 4.5 to play here in this first half.
Little pressure now again. They're trying to speed Mississippi State up with this press, but they really haven't been able to do it. Good job by the wily veteran, Ben Howland, and his team.
Stewart curling. Davis gets the board. And a foul on Stacey Thomas, who looked like he was trying to wall up.
Well, it's hard. Good job by Davis, the Alabama transfer, because he got himself stuck underneath the basket. This is a young man that made 14 starts at Alabama before transferring in league back home to the state of Mississippi.
So Davis goes 1 of 2 from the line, pushes the lead back to 11. 4 minutes to under 4 to play here in this first half.
It's good defense. This is a good defensive team. Yep. Well, this defense in the first half, John, has been so good that my man, Junior Lofton, had to take a seat and catch his breath. But you better be ready, big fella, because we're going to need you back in the second half. Hey, listen, Crispin could put points on the board now, so don't be dogging him. He put some points on the board back in his day.
Well, for Lofton Jr. back out here after taking a quick breather, when I was talking to him yesterday, he said his conditioning has just improved so much since he got here. He's lost 25 pounds since he got to campus. He said, my first couple games, I couldn't go more than 12 to 15 minutes. Now his career high is up to 30. Already 14 minutes today. He may need to go a full 30 for them to pull this one out.
What a play by DJ Stewart. Basically dribbled through the entire team and dished it off to Davis for the finish.
Yep, that pressure has not really affected Mississippi State so far.
Crawford answers with a 3-ball.
He's got to get it going. I think he's their best all-around player. Isaiah Crawford out of Fort Worth, Texas. He is so versatile. And remember, he was really quiet in the first half the other night, John.
3 minutes to play here in this first half.
And he's now going to get a piece of Molinar. This is a 6'6" forward. Notice they don't do a lot of switching. They are old school half-court defense, Louisiana Tech.
Molinar for 3. Rattles off. Lofton with the rebound.
Critical 3 minutes for Louisiana Tech because, remember, they were down 10 to Ole Miss in that first NIT game.
Archibald, open look, can't go. Molinar driving baseline, so slippery on the interior, but a jump ball is called as he's tied up by Lofton.
Yeah, and Crawford right there as well, putting those hands in. And listen, Eric Kunkel knows his team has not played well yet, but this is a long basketball game. 10 is manageable, no doubt about it, John. But you get it to 5 or 6, 4 maybe here in the last 2:20, you feel good. Now, what has to happen? Got to get stops on one end. Keep DJ Stewart from hurting you, but they've got to be a little more efficient on this end.
Now, they've had some open looks from the outside, just haven't been able to knock them down early on. Archibald, back door, slips off his hand, turnover.
Yeah, I thought that was too risky by Junior Lofton. They tried to set the back door play up because the pressure has been pretty relentless, and you're trying to loosen that pressure up, but you really got to be exacting on a back cut like that against this team. Don't go under.
Oh, he's open. Stewart off front rim, tipped around. Got away with one on that defensive possession.
I thought they did. They went under, and he got a good look.
Crawford with the hesitation. That one stripped away by Davon Smith. Here comes Mississippi State. Stewart got a man in the air and finishes.
How about the footwork? He went full speed, 70 miles an hour to a stop in city traffic right there. Great footwork, great stride stop without traveling.
Ben Howland has got to love this half by Mississippi State. And Kobe Williams, the one-handed bandit for 3.
Absolutely. As tough as they come.
One minute to play here in this first half. This is the second of our semifinals here at the NIT. Memphis won the first game. They're in the championship, and there's an offensive foul by DJ Stewart.
Well, that time his feet were not as educated as on this play. Watch the footwork right here on the jump stop. 1-2, gather, finish.
So for Stewart, that is his second personal foul. He's got to go to the bench with 52.1 remaining in this first half.
John, watch this now. If they get this shot up by 40, they'll be able to get a 2-for-1 right here. I don't know how they play this in Conference USA, but it doesn't look like they're going to go 2-for-1 here.
Lofton, up and under move. That one is denied by Quentin Post. And the interior defense has been strong for Mississippi State.
No doubt about it. It started with Adu, Quentin Post, a sophomore from the Netherlands, who looks like he's filled out nicely since I saw him last back in the European under 16 in 18 days. But he's getting some time here at the end.
All right, it's about a 6-7 second differential between shot clock and game clock. 3-ball. Fountain. Count it.
Killer. That is a killer. And Ben Howland loves this first half.
12-point lead for Mississippi State with 10 seconds to play. Amari Archibald.
And 3 freshmen out there for Mississippi State.
Shot clock is down to 3. Crawford, he's got to go. 3 at the buzzer. And that's how the first half will end. Mississippi State looking really good. Up 41-29 over Louisiana Tech at the half. Now let's send it to our guys, Kevin Connor, Seth Greenberg, and John Crispin in the studio. The second semifinal here at the NIT. Winner of this one goes on to face Memphis. Mississippi State with a 41-29 lead at the half against Louisiana Tech. Fran, early on we talked about DJ Stewart. He had it going.
He sure did. Now he only shoots 33% from behind the arc during the season, but this is the 4th time this year he's knocked down 4 threes already in the game, and he's still got 20 minutes to go. Red hot start for DJ Stewart and gave Ben Howland's team a cushion. But on the other end, how about the defense? Typical of Ben Howland, that swarming D around Kenny Lofton Jr., a defense that Bailey Howell and Eric Dampier would love in that first half. And yes, hello Bailey, I know you're watching. Terrific job by this active front line of the Bulldogs from Starkville, Mississippi.
John Trippin alongside Fran Frischel and Chris Budd. All right, Fran, if you are head coach for Louisiana Tech, what adjustments are you making here in the second half?
Make sure DJ Stewart, you keep him out of transition, no open threes. And then I think you still got to keep working through your big fella Lofton, who I think can get it going.
All right, well, the woman who knows the answer to that, our own Chris Budden.
Yeah, the phrase that Coach Conkle said to me, make them feel our presence better. We're allowing them to take too many comfortable shots, contain the dribble, make sure that everything that they put up is a contested shot.
Thank you, Chris. A travel to start this second half by Stewart, and you can see he's already getting more attention defensively.
Yes, great point. Yep, they really, really pushed him on that sideline, John. That's a great point.
So a 12-point lead at the half for Mississippi State. Louisiana Tech in the lane with the Euro step. Crawford rolls off the rim, but he stays with it.
He's got to have a big second half. I do think he's their best all-around player, and he really got it going the other night in the second half.
Crawford now has got 8 points, some 3 of 7 shooting from the floor.
Two solid plays by the Bulldogs of Louisiana Tech. Let's see if they can string together some stops and some makes. Good effort.
Double down in the post. Lofton on the floor, and the steal by Louisiana Tech.
Let's see how this team comes out the first 3 minutes of the second half.
Archibald to Lofton. A lot of contact, no call. Good defense by Mississippi State.
John, my teams used to practice the first 3 minutes of the second half. There was a strategy involved. Take it to the basket, hard blockouts, hard screens, and get every 50-50 ball. So far, I think Louisiana Tech, Coach Kunkel's got to be satisfied with this opening few plays.
Molinar pulls up. That was smart. He could feel a defender on his hip, so he pulled up for the jumper and got the foul.
This guy's done a terrific job replacing Michael White, who went off to Florida. He is now at 67% in terms of win percentage. Former assistant to Jim Larinaga at George Mason in Miami.
So the first half numbers, you look at the 3-point differential between Mississippi State and Louisiana Tech right there. 6 of 9 versus 4 of 14.
Yeah, and I would just take away, you mentioned this in the first half, take away DJ Stewart's start to this game and pretty much an even ball game.
Stewart was hot early in that first half. He's got 19 points to lead all scorers. Crawford up high, and that's a do with the block. Matthews on the run out behind his back to Stewart. Can't finish off the play.
I'll tell you, there's a reason Abdul Adu was all SEC defense, because he's been a wall today inside.
Good pass by Crawford. Jam doesn't go for Lofton.
Even there, Adu was late, and he still challenged the dunk.
Molinar with a hand in his face. Lofton just hasn't been able to get on track yet tonight.
2 words, Abdul Adu.
Archibald from downtown, that one rattles in. So the lead is down to single digits. It's a 9-point lead for Mississippi State.
What did you tell me about trailing at the half to Ole Miss?
Yeah, they were down by 10 against Ole Miss. They came back to win. So they're down by 12 at the half against Mississippi State. Curling is Stewart. Ledoux in his face. Into the post. Stewart gets it back. We'll look at that give and go.
Abdul Adu quietly having a huge effect on this game. Let's go back and watch this guy, the 50-year senior. Watch the verticality right here. We saw, great job. We saw Colorado State practice this the other day. And then he's late right here, but he still challenges the dunk at the other end, and he has really flummoxed. I'm going to use a Dartmouth word right there for you. He's flummoxed the big fella Kenny Lofton today. Don't you think he has?
Oh, man. I mean, he has done an incredible job on Lofton. I mean, we thought Lofton was going to have a big game, and he's had chances inside, but he's been bothered. Great defense by Cameron Matthews. What a pass. A lot of contact. And there's the foul. Ben Howland, I mean, you got to give him a lot of credit for this. I mean, a tough schedule in the SEC to get your team on any kind of a run.
You know what I love? He's embraced his team playing in the NIT, and he's playing for a championship.
Oh, this is March here in the NIT. We've got 4 teams remaining who definitely want to be here. Don't forget, we have the championship game tomorrow and also the 3rd place game immediately following the championship.
Well, we mentioned Ben Howland. He's been to 11 NCAA tournaments, some Final Fours. This is his 4th NIT, and this is exactly what he wanted for his young team, a chance to continue to play meaningful games.
Molinar from downtown. That's why he spent all those days in the summer working on that jump shot.
Yep. He keeps that guide hand really quiet, which is the biggest improvement from last year. All great shooters are one-handed shooters. They shoot, and the guide hand has to be still.
Archibald can't answer. 14-point lead for Mississippi State. It's been all Mississippi State since the opening tip, up 51-34 with about 15 minutes to play here in this second half.
I want you to watch this young man's form because, as I said earlier, all great shooters shoot the ball one hand, and the guide hand has to be quiet. Now watch it right there, and it's already off his hand, but he shot it one-handed. The elbow was out in a chicken wing, but watch the follow-through. Very smooth.
So Lofton on the bench, Gordon the big man in the game for Louisiana Tech. That one is fumbled out of bounds going over to Mississippi State.
And I'll argue, John, that the reason it was fumbled is because, again, Abdul Adu has been so active in there today.
A little pressure by Louisiana Tech. For more information, go to NCAA.com, your official online home for all 90 NCAA championships.
Really been impressed with this young freshman guard. Smith is, in fact, all the freshmen today who played, Fountain, Matthews, Smith, all been solid.
See Molinar, he came off that screen, he was ready to shoot it, and a good defensive possession as Kobe Williams draws the charge.
Let's watch this now. Remember Kobe Williams, he's playing with one broken hand. Watch, moves his feet, takes the blow, and not worried about the injury. Excellent job right there. Eric Conkle talks about his toughness, and you saw a good example right there.
Now, he sparked this team Thursday night in the win. Can that be an energy play that gets Louisiana Tech back in this game?
I'll tell you in about 5 minutes, because they're going to need more than one play, but you just never know. Look at the big fella.
Oh, nice move by Gordon. Can't finish it off.
One of the things Williams told me about his hand is he'll forget that he's in pain. And it's not the shooting he has to be careful. It's when he's on defense to make sure he doesn't reach out and use it and accidentally knock it.
Well, they better put him on Iverson Molinar, Chris, because he is lighting it up the way DJ Stewart did in the first half. I called him a pair of aces for a reason.
And he draws another charge.
How about Kobe Williams? He's not worried about that broken finger on that hand. Here comes Matthews. Keeps that hand away. Make sure it doesn't bang on the floor.
Abdul Adu goes to the bench and gets a well-deserved round of applause from his teammates and the fans here in the stands at Comerica Center. He has just been a wall.
Absolutely, and without Tolu Smith today, they've been a big boy team all year inside. Let's see now if Lofton could go to work on Davis.
Lofton will draw the foul and go to the line for two.
I'm not sure that Davion Davis fouled him right there. I thought he was in great position, but Lofton keeps banging, 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 and I think that I think the officials, quite honestly, they threw him a bone. Because Davis is looking around like, you taught me to wall up, coach.
This is the most uncomfortable I've seen Kenneth Lofton Jr. so far in the NIT. In the first two games, he's looked really good. But he hasn't been able to handle this pressure and the length of Mississippi State.
A little bit of frustration. And I'll put it this way. Sometimes there's a reason he's in Conference USA and not the SEC. Okay, a kid like that coming out of high school, you love to get your hands on him if you're a school like Louisiana Tech. And he could grow into a great player. But right now you're seeing why maybe he got overlooked by the big boys because of that length inside.
Another charge is drawn by Louisiana Tech. That might have been a little harsh on my man.
No.
Because Conference USA is still a fantastic
John,
conference. Obviously, it's not the SEC.
I'm telling you the truth.
That. Yeah, okay.
I mean that. You know, he's going to be a good player, but there's a reason that he is having trouble with a 6'11" guy like Adu.
Okay. I do understand the guys do get overlooked sometimes, though.
Yeah,
so sometimes people do slip through the cracks.
Well, I was the guy that found those guys, you know, places like Manhattan. So without a doubt, you're a place like Louisiana Tech. You love this kid.
Lofton going to work. Now he's starting to get in a groove.
Yes. No.
Fran, he's trying to prove you wrong right now.
No. He knows. His coaches know. I speak the truth, and I hope he turns out to be Karl Malone.
Derek Fountain off the mark, rebound to Kobe Williams.
I'd even settle for Paul Millsap.
Kick out to Ledoux for three. And now Louisiana Tech with a little run of their own, a 7-0 run. A 7-0 run by Louisiana Tech to cut into the 20-point lead. It is now down to 13. Mississippi State has been in control basically for this entire game.
They really have. But one thing we know about Louisiana Tech is they're junkyard dogs. And so they're going to keep bringing it. They got 12 and a half minutes. I mean, they got plenty of time. Oh, that was like a travel.
Full court press.
Oh, nice job.
Stewart to the lane.
Yep.
Good defense by Lofton. Here's Ledoux on the breakout.
Remember, he can get hot.
So can Kobe Williams. Oh, that was a cheap one. All right, let's send it over to Chris for more on Ledoux.
Yeah, you mentioned he can get hot. He said after the other day when he was hitting those threes, he said, I saw the first one go in, and I knew it was going to be a long night for my opponent. He hasn't had that same success today, but he relies on his bench to keep that positivity up. And he says, once I get one to flow, that's when I start to feel it.
Well, they're going to need him to get into a flow here because DJ Stewart, he was flowing in warm-ups.
I love the backcourt. You talk to people around the SEC, our guy Damon Fishback, who covers this league well, they'll tell you Stewart and Molinar have really improved, and they're getting better in the NIT. Trust me.
Fran, look at all the great names of NIT legends who coach in here in this tournament.
Not only coach, but won championships in this tournament. Nolan Richardson, he got his start at Tulsa. Of course, Jim Calhoun back in 1988. John Calipari, the last time Memphis has won a postseason tournament, 2002 with the Tigers. And guess who's playing tomorrow in the NIT Finals?
That's right.
Penny Hardaway and the Memphis Tigers. By the way, congratulations to Shaka Smart, former NIT champion. He's off to Marquette. He's back home. One of the great people in this business.
John Schriffen alongside Fran Fraschilla and Chris Budden. Under 12 to play, and it's going to be an offensive foul.
Shaka Smart won a Big 12 tournament title this year. Of course, a lot of people weren't happy with some of the results, but he's going to get a chance to go home. And grew up in Madison, Wisconsin, and very excited for him.
Lofton against Adu. Look at that rip away. Lofton stays with it. Adu denies him, and they call the foul.
I hope the foul was on the ground because it wasn't on Adu up top. There's no way. And listen, let's take a look right here. Watch the first stop. That's one. Great hands by Lofton. And nope. Get that out of here. Send that back. And Abdul Adu, there's a reason he's all SEC defense. And John, quite honestly, that possession is a reason why this young man is going to be a terrific player in Conference USA. But you saw right there in the SEC on every single night, A, he'd have to get in better shape, and B, the length would bother him the way it has today. Doesn't mean it, he's still got a nice custom suit, but a custom suit doesn't fit. Like the SEC doesn't necessarily fit him the way Conference USA fits him. So it's still a beautiful suit. Just the custom suits don't fit everybody the same way.
Look at that analogy. "13-point lead for Mississippi State as we approach 11 minutes to play in the second half. Look at the ball movement. That is just pretty.
Nice job.
Kept alive by Matthews and finishes it off.
He got stuck underneath the basket, but again, we've seen that proper hand development this tournament. PhD right there for Cameron Matthews, who may see his teammate tomorrow. Nice move, that's it. And that's what I like. When you play against a shot blocker, we've said this all week, you don't baby it up there, you go through his chin. And that's what Junior's got to do a little bit more of. Use that body and take it right through Adu's chin.
Lofton's got 12 points, 4 of 11 from the field. Kobe Williams guarding DJ Stewart. Now they switch. Look at the mismatch inside. Instead, Stewart takes a deep three. Adu with the board, and he is fouled.
Well, let's go inside in those trenches because Junior Lofton's going to work tonight, and so is Abdul Adu. Let's take a look inside. Look at those guys battling there. And I think Junior Lofton is going to come out of this game and say, man, I got better. I'm going to have to get better this summer. The next time I go up against a guy that's 6'11", has that length of an Abdul Adu. It's all a process for a freshman who's been so good this year.
It's not just the length that Adu makes him so special. He's athletic. His timing is also what I think is so incredible. He doesn't foul.
I think that's 4 or 5 years with Ben Howland, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
That's learning how to stay on your feet. He's never been a great scorer, but he's always been what we're seeing today. High energy, great on the defensive end. How many games have you called this year where a young big man leaves his feet early and picks up cheap fouls?
Oh, for sure.
Right?
All the time.
And so what you do is it's a process. And Abdul Adu, great coaching by Ben Howland and the staff, and experience. He's a great teacher.
Pemberton on the inside will draw the foul against Iverson Molinar. I love listening to the sound, being back inside the gym. We've got fans, 25% capacity.
Yep. Just enough fans to keep this from being a secret scrimmage like in the fall before the season. And certainly the coaching, the communication. Penny Hardaway told his team yesterday at practice, we need great communication. He got that today from his team. They were outstanding. You know what they did today, John? They made the 3rd most threes in the program's history, 14.
It's big.
Yep.
That's big. They came out with that hot start, and they've never looked back. Louisiana Tech just 6 of 11 from the free throw line today. A lot of contact there. No call as Adu is still on the floor.
Woozy.
5 on 4 on this end for Louisiana Tech, but a steal by DJ Stewart.
Oh, they stopped the play. And,
wow.
and that's the rule. They stopped the play. They were not, that's just the rule. Unfortunately, Mississippi State got the ball and Adu went right to the locker room anyway, so.
Well, we hope he's going to be okay. That was a collision.
See, when a player is in immediate danger, they can blow the whistle. They played on, and unfortunately, Louisiana Tech did not take advantage of the 5-on-4, but then the big fella had to get to the locker room quickly. Hope he's okay. That's that banging we talked about.
No call there as Javian Davis, and then they're going to say a flop warning on Kenneth Lofton Jr.
Well, there's been a lot of banging. That time a flop call, but take a look right there. A lot of contact. And you see Adu goes down right there.
So he just came back out. He's on the medical table as the staff is going to attend to him.
Yep. Looked like an ankle. I don't want to predict, but probably going to tape him up, and it's good to see him back out on the court.
Pemberton driving baseline. He's hooking the defender, but the call is going to be against Davis. All right, so here's what's happening. This is the 2nd semifinal. Earlier, Memphis with a dominant 90-67 win over Colorado State. So Memphis advances to the championship game. That's tomorrow at noon Eastern, right here on ESPN.
I think the cool thing is Colorado State did not play. They did not bring their A game today, and they get to finish off tomorrow with a chance for one more win this season.
Referencing that 3rd place game that's going to be played after the championship.
Exactly, John. Thank you. First time we've had a 3rd place game in the NIT in quite a while.
So for Javian Davis, that is his 3rd foul. That's what the players are hearing.
Yeah.
That's great.
They were just running Iverson too, because I heard it about 3 times.
2 seconds on the shot clock for Mississippi State. Got to get it up quickly, and a shot clock violation.
If you're Louisiana Tech right now, you've got to find a way to manufacture some points. And it hasn't been through the low post, except for this guy, if he can get it going.
Lofton with the left hand finishes. The lead is cut to 13.
He had Quentin Post, who doesn't move his feet great. You saw the agility of Junior Lofton right there.
Molinar with a head of steam. He is fouled.
Watch this now. They go to a 5-out spread offense. You see a lot of this now in college basketball. There's the room. Look at that. 1-2, and a good finish off the glass right there. A little English on that shot.
He said, Fran, take that.
That's okay.
Saying, I'm not an SEC player.
I'm going to be rooting for this kid for the next 3 years because we've enjoyed watching him in the NIT, and he's not done yet.
Has not had the best night. 5 of 12 from the field, but he does have 14 points.
He's playing against the SEC. That's my point.
You think about what this NIT means for a team like Mississippi State. No, I get your point. I get your point. 100%. When you play up against a tough SEC schedule and you've got a young team, it's hard to get on any kind of a roll and build that confidence. What does the NIT mean for Mississippi State?
Well, obviously the first thing is extra games and extra practices. The next thing is a championship potentially, right? And also confidence of playing in big games. DJ Stewart's shot against Richmond the other night was a clutch shot. So this is fun.
3 off the mark. Louisiana Tech is 6 of 20 from downtown today.
And that's not how you get back into the game, because that time, that was a great look by Crawford, just couldn't finish. Good little movement. How about this kid? This kid spent, John, you said it early, he spent all off season working on the jump shooting because the athleticism and getting to the basket is already elite.
That's an elite move by Archibald for Mississippi State. This is the 4th game this season. They've made 10 three-pointers.
Well, again, I love this backcourt. Stewart early, Molinar late.
And a foul on the ball called against Amari Archibald. Mississippi State, they've weathered the runs. That's Abdul Adu still getting worked on the side. All right, Kevin, thank you very much. Coming up at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, that's over on ESPN2. The NCAA Women's Championship, the Sweet 16 continues with the 4-seed Indiana taking on number 1-seeded NC State. That's followed by 3rd-seeded Arizona and 2nd-seeded Texas A&M. All games are also available on the ESPN app. How about this? Abdul Adu checks back into the ball game. Let's go over to Chris for an update.
Yeah, it's his left foot that has been giving him some issues. They've tried wrapping the outside of the shoe. He wasn't comfortable on that. So they've now wrapped the inside. I was told he was questionable, but now back out here.
All right, thank you very much. Good to see the big man back in the game for Mississippi State. Crawford guarded closely by Cameron Matthews. Into the post, Gordon. Hook shot, that rattles in.
Well, we've seen Gordon match up with Bassie the other night, and this time going right at Abdul Adu, and I like that.
They're going to test him right away. Stewart easily breaks the press for Mississippi State. Under 7 minutes to play.
Ben Howland now trying to control tempo.
Fountain inside of the big man. Look at that agility.
Sweet.
That ankle looks pretty good.
Absolutely, and so do those hands, because that was a great catch, John. He used this rim to protect that shot like we see good players do around the basket. Fountain drops a dime. Watch him use the other side of the rim to keep Andrew Gordon in jail. Watch, Gordon's going to come block it. There's no way that they can get through to the big fella at Lagos, Nigeria. What a great career he's had in Starkville.
Mississippi State got off to an 11-0 start. And every time it seems like Louisiana Tech is trying to get back into this game,
Mississippi State's made plays.
Yeah, they just denied them.
Yep. I think the big thing, aside from that quick start by Stewart, has been the great defense. It's been outstanding half-court defense today.
There it is again.
Yep, and that's what we call a deflection. And it's not a steal, but the fact is there's now only 17 on the clock, and Louisiana Tech has got to inbound this ball and get back into their offense.
Archibald goes over the Lofton screen, pull-up jumper, gets his own board, back up, no good. Battle underneath, stays here with Louisiana Tech.
You can see point-blank shots just not going in. And, you know, you can say off day, but I also would think that Ben Howland's going to be really pleased with the effort.
Archibald, 3 from the corner. And underneath on the rebound, they're going to call against Jacoby Pemberton.
Now, this Louisiana Tech team knocked off Ole Miss last week in the opening round. Devontae Schuler, their outstanding senior guard for the Rebels, did not play.
So Pemberton just picked up his 3rd foul. 9th team foul in Louisiana Tech.
This young man at the line, he played 8 total minutes the first 17 games, Derek Fountain. Think about that. 8 total minutes, and he's become a key reserve, even a part-time starter for Ben Howland.
He wasn't even in the 5-on-5 scrimmages in practice.
Yeah.
Underneath,
Good move.
up against the trees, good move by Pemberton.
You know, Louisiana Tech's going to fight and claw, try to get back in this game, but it's going to be an interesting matchup tomorrow, whichever of these teams plays Memphis, because I thought Memphis's pressure defense, not only in the half court, John, but full court, really, really took a lot out of Colorado State.
Also offensively, I mean, that was probably one of the best shooting performances Memphis has had all season.
And in, quite frankly, in the history of the program, because 14 threes is 3rd most all time. They've now won 13 out of 16 matches.
Scoop shot with the shot clock winding down. Adu grabs the offensive rebound. Molinar with a quick 3. Skying in for the putback is Derek Fountain.
Yeah, Holly Springs, Mississippi. He had 14 DNPs. That means did not plays early in the year. First 17 games, he was invisible. And if he turns sideways, he's invisible too. But he has really given Ben Howland a young player to build around. Derek Fountain, 6'9". Oh, nice. Watch how soft this ball stays on the rim.
Imagine having a guy like that at the end of your bench who you've all out of nowhere discover because a guy gets hurt in front of him. He gets in the scrimmages, shows off what he can do, and now he's getting some serious playing time.
Well, Ben Howland said it when he started playing well. It shows you how much he knew, right? Here's a guy that's been to Final Fours, great programs at places like Pitt, UCLA, now Mississippi State, and it took some injuries and good fortune. And you know what I like? They have some freshmen, right? Matthews, Smith, and Fountain that really go well with those sophomore guards.
Got to give Derek Fountain a lot of credit here, too, because imagine being at the end of the bench and still keeping a great attitude. Yes. Ben Howland said, I credit Fountain because he never got down. And when he got his opportunity, he made the most of it.
John, I couldn't agree more. I'm going to tell you something. As someone who's been on the end of a bench, and I mean this sincerely, and someone who's also had to coach guys on the end of a bench, it's very easy for those guys to get frustrated and down on themselves, and he did not. And yes, I have been on the end of a bench.
mean, that's just smart basketball by Adu, just not even fouling when Lofton was in that deep. What a take to the bucket, Iverson Molinar.
No, Russell Westbrook Jr. right there. Ben Howland found this guy. Got some people talking about him. Watch this. This is Russell Westbrook-like right here. What? And remember, he played for Russell's AAU program out in Southern California. Now, he's not that good, but I'm telling you, as a sophomore in the SEC, him and Stewart, this is why Ben Howland continues to be excited about the young group he's got.
Young man came from Panama City, Panama, to extend his basketball career out of high school. His family is still back home in Panama, and he's putting on a show.
You know who's watching this game right now, wishing he was out here? Tolu Smith, and he's a sophomore. One of the best inside scorers in the league. So you take those sophomores and freshmen, and if you're a Mississippi State Bulldog fan, you gotta be pretty excited about the way the season is finishing for these guys.
Tolu Smith, unfortunately unavailable for this game. We were told he is still here in Frisco, Texas.
And it is not disciplined.
Correct.
But we loved him when he played early in the NIT because he can score in the post.
Lofton battling inside with the left, finishes. Lofton's starting to get going. He's got 18.
Well, I've said it and I've coached it this way. You take it through a shot blocker's face or his nose or his chin, but you do not baby the ball up against a shot blocker.
Mississippi State with a big lead, comfortable, just running their offense, running some clock. Got some handle too. Adu with a sweeping hook shot.
He's a veteran. He looked at the shot clock, he saw 3, and he said, I think I better go to work.
Pokes that one away from behind. And a timeout on the floor.
Adu, in French, adieu means goodbye. Is that what he's telling Louisiana Tech?
Sunday, the NCAA Women's Championship Sweet 16 continues with these matchups on ABC at 1 Eastern. Georgia Tech takes on South Carolina. Then it's Missouri State against Stanford. Later on ESPN, Oregon squares off against Louisville, followed by Texas and Maryland. You can always watch every game live on the ESPN app.
Do you know that Missouri State basketball is home of the great Jackie Stiles? She is one of the great women's basketball players to ever play. It's great to see Missouri State back in the tournament. They were Southwest Missouri back then. We're celebrating the game, Mr. Shrippen.
Mississippi State, man, they are riding high after a last-second shot to advance to the semis. DJ Stewart won it with about a second left. Got off to the hot start tonight, and this is now the 3rd time this season that Molinar and Stewart each with 20 or more points in the same game.
Exactly.
I mean, this duo, they're going to be scary next year.
I watched them in Myrtle Beach last year, and they played Villanova. They took some lumps down there. And this year, obviously, 15 and 14, they took some lumps in the FCC, but these guys have gotten better and better, that backcourt.
So Stewart now has 23. Molinar also has 23. And the lead is at 20. Lofton double team blocked, but a foul is called.
There you go. We said pair of aces, right, to start the game, and they have certainly been that. And Adu's been the jack of all trades today. Those freshmen have been really, really good complementary players to this sophomore backcourt.
The line for Adu, he's got 8 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 blocks.
Got a violation coming. I don't know about you, John, but this is a quiet 19 for Kenneth Lofton Jr., about to maybe hit the 20 mark, but he's had to earn every single basket today.
But I think to your point, he grew up a lot in this game.
I think so. I absolutely think so. And I don't think he's going to see many better defenders in the low post than what he saw today from Abdullah Due, and he still got 20.
And here's what I love about the fact that the NIT decided to put the third place game back into the tournament this year. We get to see a kid like Kenneth Lofton Jr. again play tomorrow if, in fact, Louisiana Tech loses this game and try to redeem himself. Yes, he's got 20 points, but he wanted to get a better start to this one.
I think the same thing's true with Colorado State, who we saw did not play their best today against Memphis. And you know what? We've been so starved for college basketball in the last year. Let's go out on a high note tomorrow. You and I will have 2 great games. And then, like great fans we are, we're going to watch the rest of the NCAA tournament and celebrate those guys.
I am looking forward. It has been a phenomenal weekend here in Frisco, Texas, inside the Comerica Center. John Schriffen, Fran Fraschilla, Chris Budden. I mean, just think about it. A year ago, we had nothing.
Nothing. Zero. Zilch. Nada. No hoop.
I remember I was on a plane to Dallas, getting ready to do a conference tournament. I landed in the airport in Dallas, got a call. Tournament was off.
Tournament's off. Life is off, as we know it. Wear those masks, people. Get those shots, because I'm going to a Texas Ranger game in April. I'm eating a hot dog, and I'm yelling at umpires.
Under 3 minutes to play. Floater off the mark, kept alive by Fountain.
Yes. Holly Springs, Mississippi.
I mean, he's getting a little overshadowed because he's playing with these 2 guards, but he's got 15 points.
That's terrific. Season high and career high is 20 against LSU.
All batted around. Davon Smith in the corner, and he's going to be fouled.
And I'm really excited about that third place game tomorrow, seriously, because Colorado State's had a great season. Louisiana Tech, you got 2 terrific young coaches in Nico Medved and Eric Kunkel, and they're both teams that play their hearts out, and I'm anxious to see them. And then we got Penny Hardaway and his Memphis Tiger team against the wily old veteran, Ben Howland, Northern Arizona, Pitt, UCLA, and now here in Starkville, Mississippi.
And how about the performances by both Mississippi State and Memphis? Both playing some of the best basketball of the season as they go into now the championship game of the NIT.
You know what people don't realize about Memphis? They've won 13 of 16. Their 3 losses, 2 to Houston. They make their free throws. They beat Houston twice and 1 loss at SMU. Last 16 games, they have gelled.
I got to tell you, the way Memphis played today, I don't think anyone in the NCAA tournament would want to face this Memphis team right now.
No, you know, obviously they would have a tough road to hoe against a great Gonzaga team, but to your point, they played like an Elite 8 team today. They really did. And I'm talking about the main tournament, the NCAA tournament.
Ledoux from downtown.
He just shook his head like, where has that been?
Yep. He was so big in the win on Thursday. That's his second 3 tonight. He's got 11. Under 2 minutes to play. Winner of this one moves on to the NIT championship game tomorrow. Oh, just get through the defense. Davon Smith.
Well, he has been really solid tonight. He's been exactly what you want your backup point guard to be. Only a freshman. See, with the 2 point guards out there, and Iverson Molinar can catch his breath.
Mississippi State has scored on their last 11 possessions. That's how you close out a ball game.
Get it out. Kill some time.
That's right. Davon Smith, the offensive rebound. Really from the opening tip, it's been all Mississippi State.
Yeah, it really has. DJ Stewart got it started. He was red hot.
Smith with a step back three. And how about another offensive rebound? Up by 20, and Mississippi State is still getting after it. Now Louisiana Tech is going to foul so they can get some players on the end of their bench into this ball game. Tylen Elder and Lane Hartley will get into the game. And Ledoux is another guy who will love playing in this game tomorrow, will be able to redeem himself for this performance today.
It's a great point, because this will be the last basketball he plays until next season. This young man will be on the Panamanian national team, Iverson Molinar. Not the greatest player to ever come out of that country. That would be Rolando Blackman. Kansas State, Grady High School in Brooklyn.
Hey, give him some time.
I know.
Give Molinar some time.
I know. Although Rowe was a longtime pro. But you know what? Eddie Cota, who once was one of the great passers in the history of the NCAA. North Carolina's Eddie Cota, also from Panama.
Nothing to be ashamed of if you're Louisiana Tech. You ran up against a very hot Mississippi State team.
Yep, and you get to play tomorrow.
Iverson Molinar, a career-high 25 points. An absolutely dominant effort. And Davon Smith will now have the chance to just run out the clock.
Good job, be smart, White. Be smart, White. Good job.
A 22-point win for Mississippi State. And they will advance to the championship game here in the NIT tomorrow to take on Memphis for the first time ever. Fran, let's take a look at this bracket. We are now down to 2 for tomorrow. Memphis, Mississippi State. Your early thoughts on the championship?
Memphis won the title in 2002 with DeJuan Wagner, and Mississippi State gets to win their own championship tomorrow. What a battle.
Oh, I can't wait. Our final score, 84-62. Mississippi State moves on to the championship. LSU and Florida College softball is coming up next. For Chris Budden, Fran Fraschilla, and our entire amazing crew here at ESPN, I'm John Trippin saying so long from Frisco, Texas.